Hey folks, how's it going? Got something a little bit different for you this time. I'm going to be modding one of my guitars, one of my SGs, well, my SG, my only SG, because I don't like the sound of the neck pickup on it. I think it's very, very bottom end heavy, very, very bassy, and I don't like that. My sensibilities have matured since I was a younger man, and I don't quite like that humbucker sound. So instead what I've done is I've gone out and I have bought some P90s. They're humbucker sized single coils effectively, to kind of give myself a little bit of versatility, I suppose, with that particular instrument. The beauty of the P90s as well is that they won't hum. So they are going to buck the hum, but they're not humbuckers. So this is where we are currently at with this. I have loosened all the strings. I don't want to snap them all because frankly, they are a brand new set of strings, and strings are a premium, unfortunately. But I have loosened all of the screws here. This humbucker effectively comes out now. And what I have done is I have also removed the back plate as well. By removing the back plate, I'm now able to obviously get inside and see the guts here a little bit. And what I can now do is I can tug on these different cables here and figure out what is linked over here on the front, right? So I can find out where that cable, that little red cable goes. It's not very tidy in there. Maybe I'll give that a little hoover, we'll see. But yeah, now I know where I'm going to be removing the pickup cable from and where I'm going to be soldering in the new P90 cable. I think it's worth pointing out as well that these are the new pickups that I'm going to be installing. They look pretty slick, they look pretty nifty. This is my first ever guitar mod as well, so I didn't want to go too expensive. Oh, I saw myself there. I didn't want to go too expensive. I got a pair of Alnico P90s from Northwest Guitars in the UK, and they are pretty cost effective. This was about £50, I think it was, for the two of them. So I don't know how good they'll be, but I thought, I'll give it a go. My first mod, and worst comes to worst, I've got a single coil installed instead. Okay, so the next thing now is for me to actually get in and do some soldering here. Now you're going to notice over the course of this video that I'm not very good at soldering. My soldering skills are not particularly strong, but what I have already determined here is that this red cable and this red cable here are part of the humbucker that we want to remove. So that's going to be the first port of call, making sure that my soldering iron is hot enough, and then getting in there and removing those. Before we move on to the next step of putting the P90 in place and then soldering it up. So to remove this, all I'm going to do is reach in here with my soldering iron, and I'm going to gently apply it here. As long as it's hot enough, it should just loosen that solder, just really turn it into a liquid so that you can really just kind of pull this away more than anything. Any second now. Oh, okay, we got a bit of smoke out there, so that's good. That's a good sign. Okay, so we have the ground cable removed. Now we're just gonna get in over here again. Let's see if we can remove this one. This other cable is proving to be a little bit more tricky than I would like. Maybe it's connected in down here. Yeah. Oh. Looks like I pulled on that a little bit too much. So it's connected on down here, actually. But thankfully, I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem when it comes to connecting our P90. Now, though, we can effectively just pull this guy out. Pull it right through, and voila, a single humbucker guitar. Giant Guitars would be so proud. Now though, I'm just going to put this in place. I'm going to put it in here, slot it back into where we pulled the humbucker from. So, a learning for me. Small snag. I removed this neck pickup, no problem. Fed the cable through. Felt like it went through pretty easily. no problems there, but nothing was coming out in the cavity, in the back cavity. So I learned now that this didn't feed directly into the cavity to the controls, and instead it actually fed through to this cavity here for the bridge humbucker. So now I've had to remove the bridge humbucker to get myself enough space here to be able to feed the cable through from the neck pickup into the cavity at the back. So lesson learned, if you're going to be doing a mod like this, don't be a silly Billy like me. Also remove the bridge pickup first, and then remove your neck pickup and then feed through. Lesson learned, the more you know. Okay, so we now have our cable all the way through the body. We have it here. And now we have our actual connector and we have our ground. So if we recall, our ground was over here. That's good. I'm going to see if I can get myself a little bit more room. That's good. I can get my ground to there. Fantastic. And I can get my actual cable connector over to here. And that's what we're going to do. And I think that's all we really need to do. So let's get to it. And again, apologies for my soldering in advance. Okay, so that should be the ground connected. Not very well, but it's connected. We're going to try and be quite neat here, but we'll see how it goes. All right. Okay, so we've got that hooked up. The ground is connected. Maybe we'll add a little bit more solder here, just to be safe. All right. We've got the ground hooked up. We've got the actual connector hooked up. So that should really be our pickup good to go now. Okay, here we go. A bit of a moment of truth. We've got our pickup connected. It's all installed. It's connected to an amp. Oh, yes. Excellent. So we've got volume, we've got tone. Okay, maybe a little bit microphonic. 1, 2. Maybe not. Maybe not too microphonic. That's great. Very happy with that. Okay, and there we have it. I skipped over some of the boring stuff, like, putting the screws back in. But yeah, there it is. P90 in place, humbucker in the bridge. I kind of like the look of it. I think it looks pretty punk. It helps the aesthetic, certainly, with all the stickers. I got the back plate on. So all I really did was skip over all of the screwing in stuff. All that's really left to do now is to give it a go. Plug it, tune it up, obviously, and then plug it in and give it a go. All right, so overall, I think I'm happy with the mod.
I think I'm pretty happy with that neck pickup. I think that turned out quite nicely. I'm certainly happy with it for the clean tones anyway. It's nowhere near as bassy or as bottom endy as the initial neck pickup that I had in there, the humbucker that was in place. But, you know, maybe there will come a day when I will want that back. I do notice, obviously, it doesn't have as much body as the bridge pickup, because the bridge pickup is actually a humbucker. But, you know, I think I can live with it. I think it has maybe a little bit more versatility now that I've made that modification. And yeah, I think that it's a more interesting instrument now as a result of that. All those tones that you heard there, all those flubs that you heard there, they're all mine. They're all my own. And obviously I need a little bit more practice. But what I noticed was that the more you cranked up the gain on that P90, on that neck pickup, the muddier it kind of became, which is a little bit unfortunate. But again, I really like it for the clean tones more than anything else. So any kind of gain that I do put on that will be minimal enough, I think. But if I do want to crank it up a little bit, I do know that my bridge pickup can handle it, that humbucker will really sing. Overall, am I happy? Yeah, I think so. But more than anything, I'm glad that I've done that mod. I was maybe a little bit intimidated to make these kinds of changes to my instruments before. But now that I know how easy it is, and the lesson that I've learned from it, that, you know, if you're going to be removing the neck pickup, make sure you remove the body pickup as well, or the bridge pickup as well, because you're going to need to thread it through the body anyway. That's a good learning. But yeah, I'm happy I did it for, at the very least, for the experience. Thank you very much for taking some time to watch this video and to sit with me as we went through this guitar modification project together. It didn't take very long either. It was surprisingly quick and easy to do. So I hope that this maybe encourages you to maybe do some mods of your own. If you liked this video, please do go ahead and hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel to see more videos. If you liked this video, maybe I'll do some more mods. I think maybe the next thing that I will do on that SG is pick up some new machine heads and to slap them on there. Again, not an enormous modification. I probably won't be spending a ton of money on those machine heads, but I've got a lead on some good quality cheap ones that I'm interested in. So again, do subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of that stuff. And of course, leave me comments in the comment section below if you have comments on anything over the course of this, things that I could have done to make my life that little bit easier over the course of the modding process. I'm all ears. And yeah, if you have anything to say about my soldering skills, well, you know, maybe keep them to yourself. But thank you again for stopping by. Thank you very much for giving your time to the Sonic Chronicle. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.